Dear students of English Literature class 12th, today in this lecture 3 English version lecture, our topic is The Homecoming written by Rabindranath Tagore. Students, in this chapter, Rabindranath Tagore has described a boy of 14 who is from a middle class family. Students, he describes his psychology and the activities and the reaction of the society to that boy. Students, we came to know from the lecture 1 and 2 that he was very naughty and his mother was very anxious about him. Students, in this lecture, you will come to know when his uncle offered him to go with him to Calcutta, he becomes very happy and he was extremely ecstatic to go with him. Now, students, in this lecture 3, you will come to know the psychology described by the writer. Now, student, this is M. Rehman and you are attending RSC classes of English language. Please, students, to continue your lectures, subscribe our channel RSC classes of English language. Please like, share and comment to us. Now, let's begin with lecture number 3 of this chapter. Students, when they reached Calcutta, Fatigue made the acquaintance of his aunt for the first time. As you know that Fatigue was very curious to go with his uncle, and at last he went there with him. Now when he reached there, he met for the first time his maternal aunt, and it was his first experience that was very bitter. She was by no means pleased with the necessary addition to her family. Means that lady was not happy for adding a new person in his family, as she was a very self-centered lady. She found her own 3 boys quite enough to manage without taking anyone else. Means she was not ready to mix any new person in his family because her family was big for her. And to bring a village lad of 14, lad means boy, into their midst was terribly upsetting. Terribly means which causes a great headache. Upsetting, which causes some disturbance, means the arrival of that 14 years of age boy to their family from a village was a very disturbing thing. Bishambar should really have thought twice before committing such an indiscretion. According to her, Bishambar should have a thought before taking that boy to their family, and Bishambar's coming with that boy was an act of indiscretion, means an act of thoughtlessness. In this world of human affairs, there is no worse nuisance than a boy at the age of 14. Students, this line will surprise you and you will come to know the psychology of a boy of 14. Now, students, before I begin to teach, I would like to share with you a few things. First, I would like to ask a question: why do you study literature? Students, sometimes the students of science think that there is no need to study literature because these are the stories that have already passed. But now, students, I would like to make you know that these stories make us to adjust in the society. If we don't know how to adjust in the society, we are merely robots, a machine that has knowledge, but we would become so much self-centered if we don't have the adjustment in the society. This literature gives us the understanding of everybody, that we come to know about one another. Student, this literature is very important to build the society and to build a sympathetic society, a considerate society, so that we may live here peacefully. Without literature, students, it's very impossible to live in this society. Now let's see the psychology that is given in this chapter, and in this way we will come to know what is the thinking and how does a boy of 14 live in this world? As the writer says, in this world of human affairs, there is no worse in a nuisance than a boy at the age of 14. Means a boy of 14 is a very big problem in this world. He is neither ornamental nor beautiful. Means he is neither attractive nor very handsome at this age, because he is developing. It is impossible to show our affection on him as on a little boy. Now the age of 14 is such an age on which he isn't considered a baby nor he is considered a grown up. That's why he is deprived of the affection from the people, and he is always getting in the way. Means he suffers in all the ways. If he talks with a childish lisp, he is called a baby. Means if he does activities like a minor, he is also scolded and considered ugly. If he answers in a grown up way, means if he tries to respond to the elders, he is considered as a bad boy of actions. He is called impertinent. Means if he answers, if he tries to compete his elders, he is considered to be an indisciplined boy and a very unconsiderate person. He is considered to be an immoderate person. In fact, any talk at all from him is resented. Means whatever he does becomes a cause of resentment for others. Students, in this new paragraph we will come to know how does this boy live in the society at the age of 14. Student, it's not hardly 14, it's near about 14 and 15. This is at the age, this then he is at the unattractive growing age. Means this age is unattractive because his body is developing generally, and the face is plumpy and soft when he is a child, but as he grew in his teenage, his face takes a shape and becomes angular, and it becomes wide. Now students, during this his beard and mustache begins to grow and he becomes unattractive. He grows out of his clothes with indecent haste. Student, generally you come to know this is an age when you pass class 10th and comes to class 11th. In this age generally body grows rapidly, and your clothes in the society of India, I mean in the middle class society, such boys and such children wear dresses that are generally short. Means their body is bigger than their clothes, and they have insufficient size of their clothes at this age. His voice also begins to change. His voice grows hoarse. Hoarse means not pleasant, and breaks and quavers means his voice becomes very unpleasant, and it never gives a sound very smoothly. His face grows suddenly angular and unsightly. Means there is a change in the figure of his face, and that face the bones of the face becomes wide and they gets angular. It is easy to excuse the shortcomings of early childhood, but this boy is of 14. I mean to say, if a boy commits mistakes, makes mistakes in his minor age, he can be excused, but at the age of 14 he is neither considered a baby nor a grown up. But it is hard to tolerate even unavoidable lapses in a boy of 14. Means a boy of 14 is always scolded whether he tries to be a baby or he tries to be a grown up. The lad himself becomes painfully self-conscious, and on this age the condition of such a boy becomes that he thinks a lot, but he is not able to express and impose himself on others. That's why his condition is become very painful and pathetic. When he talks with elderly people, he is either unduly forward. At this age, students they don't know the limit. If they begin to talk to their elderly persons, they cross the limit, or if they uh, try not to cross the limit, they make another mistake. They unduly shy, that he appears ashamed of his very existence. Then they become shy and hesitated to represent themselves and to express themselves, and in this way their existence becomes very difficult for them. Overall, if we say about this age, the psychology of the students who are in this age, who the boys who are in this age, are very uh, are in very complicated times. Yet it is at the age when in his heart of hearts a young lad most craves for recognition and love. Students, you can understand all these feelings because you are passing through this age. At this age a boy, at this age a lad, uh, craves means a boy. At this age, at this stage of age, any boy craves for desire for his own recognition, identification, and he requires love. He becomes the devoted slave of anyone who shows him uh, for that devoted slave of anyone who shows him consideration. Means love and affection is a very important thing for such a boy, and who shows love and affection for him, he becomes a slave, he becomes engaged in that person, but none dare openly love him. Means because there is no maturity in the thought, that's why nobody shows his or her open love for him, for that would be regarded undue indulgence, because that boy is expected to engage in that act thoughtlessly, and therefore bad for the boy, and this is considered not good for the boy. So, what with scolding and chiding? Means if we talk about the scolding and chiding done for this boy, he becomes very much like a stray dog that has lost his master. Students, this sentence reflects that the condition of the boy who is crossing his age 14. He is neither respected nor gets any love from anybody. In this way, he feels like a dog which is spurred by anybody, means which is kicked by anybody. He has a great rejection and scolding in this age. Students, in this way we come to know that this age is of uh, pain. This is the age of development, and in this age you actually the boy is growing, and he has a lot of desire in his heart, but he has no permission to perform them in the condition of growing desires, but there is restriction on the desires. It makes him very uh, painful person. Means when somebody wants to do something and he has no freedom to do it, his life becomes very much arrested. So students, in this way we came to know fatigue was at the age of 14, and he was in such a condition because he was being scolded on so many points. And now students, one more thing is there. On such an age, if you are being scolded everywhere, and even at this age you reach somewhere where there are all the persons strangers, then it becomes very miserable for the person who reaches among the strangers, and this happens to fatigue. Now student, you will come to know in the lecture 4 what happened to fatigue when he reached his aunt's house. Students, I hope you have liked our lecture and you understand everything through this lecture. So please, to continue your syllabus, subscribe our channel or AC classes of English language. Students, please like, share and comment to us. Thanks.